one of the things that in this market, it's a hot market. This is the year 2021. So if you're listening to this a different year, when we are actually recording this, it has been a hot market for buyers. And as real estate agents, a lot of new ones who are getting into the market, they just want to know how can you be successful in this crazy market on getting new prospects?
Welcome to the Jennifer J. Hammond Podcast. Jennifer is a licensed realtor, educator, speaker, and best-selling author. Jennifer's goal is to help you find your yay in every day.
Hello, this is Jennifer J. Hammond, and I'm so excited. As you know, I love when we can help you make good decisions in real estate. So today we want to be focused on realtors. So we're going to talk about 7 ways to get in front of your prospects as a licensed real estate agent. And I'm here with Jennifer Tucker. Welcome.
Hey, Jay. Thanks for having me. This is awesome to be here.
So I'm so excited. We have Jennifer today, and I'm Jennifer J, and you're Jennifer Tucker. We both have been in the real estate for a while. So one of the things that in this market, it's a hot market. This is the year 2021. So if you're listening to this a different year, when we are actually recording this, it has been a hot market for buyers. And as real estate agents, a lot of new ones who are getting into the market, they just want to know how can you be successful in this crazy market on getting new prospects?
Yeah, that's a really good question. With this hot market, some of us are having an easy time and some of us are having a more difficult time. But the easiest way that I found for you to get in front of those people, those homeowners, because we all want listings, right? Who they already have the product and we're just going to be the in-between to go sell them. So for me, it was all about networking, and I would network everywhere. I mean, I would be at my local networking party or social mixer, what have you, especially during COVID. Obviously that was difficult, but meetups on Zoom kind of kept my flow going in order to not stop the momentum that had been created.
And that's something I wanted to say, is that a lot of times people use it as an excuse because of the pandemic, because of all the challenges that we've had. Whereas I think in some ways it's gotten easier, because at least where I am in Washington, D.C. area, sometimes these mixers that I want to go to, or a happy hour or a social, or even an evening open house where I can meet a lot of people, or an event, all of them are all over the place. And the weird part is now with Zoom and all of these meetup groups and the way everything's so digital, I can actually pop into more places than I ever have been able to before to do networking.
You could really plan out your day to be at something every hour on Zoom if you really wanted to. I don't know if you want a glass of wine in each of those hours, but but it worked out. But that helps me establish what I call my dirty dozen, the people who are in the business that I can refer business to and can refer business back to me. So my home inspectors, attorneys, title, insurance people, anyone in the financial world, accountants as well. Those people were my dirty dozen that I met at those kind of meetups.
Which is perfect. And for brand new agents, if you don't understand what we're talking about, when you actually get to know these people who are in the industry, you will find that you can actually throw business both ways. Like you could refer to your favorite home inspectors, and you might have a couple, you don't have to have just one, and you could have your favorite lenders, your favorite attorneys, any of those, and then vice versa. They could send you clients as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about, right? We go into this business because we want to help people. Well, it's the same thing for other business to business transactions. We still need to help other businesses in order for our business to grow.
Absolutely. So again, we're going over 7 ways to get in front of our clients, especially as a new agent. What are some of the other ways?
I think it's about, going out and prospecting, obviously. I mean, and that we can really break prospecting down into both passive and active activity, depending upon, and I would say you should probably do both passive and active. By passive, I mean, that's kind of things coming into us, maybe marketing on some platforms where you're just sitting, waiting for a buyer or a seller to reach you. Right? But more active activity. And I'm a hybrid agent. I do a little bit of social media marketing, as well as still paper and flyer marketing. But for me, that was a matter of going to more active for me was a matter of going out and still door knocking, to be honest with you.
Wow. I was going to say there are not too many agents that door knock, and yet door knocking, I have to be honest, I've never done door knocking, but I know some agents, they built their entire business just on door knocking. So when you go to someone's door, what do you say?
I just want to, I usually target a neighborhood. Well, at least in the beginning, my door knocking now is a little bit more specific, as opposed to just random at this point, more warm knocking as opposed to cold knocking. I just say something very general because I just want to be able to know who that person is, to see if I can help them to possibly build a relationship with them. So it would look something like this. Hey, did you see that your neighbor just put your house on the market? Didn't know if you knew that. And they would say, yes or no. Were you thinking of moving anytime soon? They typically say, no, we've only been here a short period of time. Oh, well, that's great. Where did you move from? And if you were to move, where would you move to? So by this last question, I kind of get an idea of where they want to go. And then my final question would be, well, when are you going to move there? Now, at least I have a time frame and I can put them on some sort of spreadsheet and some kind of follow-up plan to be in touch with them.
So number one, I'm curious, when you did do door knocking and it was cold and it wasn't warm, it wasn't like somebody you might know or a friend of a friend, and you were doing door knocking, were you going on the weekends or were you going in the evenings?
A little bit of both, I would say. My block plan on Saturdays would be door knocking in the morning from like 9 to 10:30, 11.
Nice. And it's good you just did it for a little bit of time, not the whole day, so you didn't wear yourself out.
Well, it wasn't even the matter of the physical work that goes along with door knocking. It was, I like having a check and a gold star next to my name. So if I didn't complete knocking on those 50 doors, I would be very angry with myself, and it ultimately would ruin my day. So setting it at a specific time with a definite number put me in goal mode that I was able to achieve.
And I think that's really important, especially for new agents, is having a goal and also having you said something else that I think is amazing and that's so overlooked by real estate agents, is having a set number, whether you're going to send out, 50 personal text messages, or if you're going to do it on instant messages on a social media like Facebook or Instagram or something, whatever you're going to do, make sure there's a number, and a number that you can measure every week to see how you're doing. Because so often people are like, I just don't understand. I was so busy and now I'm just not busy. And so I don't understand what the differences are. And if you don't have a number like that you can really look at, then it becomes very hard to measure your success and to also achieve the goal you want, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And as real estate agents, we're pretty goal-oriented people, right? We're pretty high on the DISC personality, D's and D personalities, where we want to, lead and achieve. So yeah, that totally makes sense, of course.
And so it's really important to make sure, and you said, I think another one that's really important is hybrid. You said you're a bit of hybrid when you're doing your marketing, from knocking on doors to also doing digital. So let's talk a little bit about your digital. What do you do on digital? Do you just post your new listing? Do you post references or recommendations for people? What do you do?
Yeah, this would kind of be my third way to kind of get in front of your audience as well, is definitely video marketing as well. And not that I don't post at all, but I kind of rank them so that video comes first, then a post, and then maybe just some kind of fluffy dog kind of picture or something like that. But yeah, but definitely video marketing, that's for me has been ramped up in the last 3 years, where I'm able to get in front of more people, doing a little bit of less work and less time as well.
Yeah, I think it's really important to do what you're most comfortable with too with social media, so that you're not trying to force it, but also not just posting listings and not actually having a personality or engaging with people. I think one of the best ways I ever heard someone describe social media to me was, think about if you were at a cocktail party and all you did was run around and give everybody flyers. And they're like, what are you doing? Just have a cocktail and have a conversation, and don't be in just promotion mode, promotion,
Yeah.
also have your personality come out, right?
Yeah, no one wants to be sold all the time. We don't want to be, that pushy salesperson. As real estate agents, we definitely get that stereotype, like the used car salesman sometimes, right? And I don't want to be that. I don't buy that way, so I'm not going to sell that way either.
Right. Me too. I feel the same way. Okay, so some of the other tips that we have for getting in front of your prospects.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about networking, but I would really rather go into more networking, not just on these meetups, but you already have this sphere of influence that you need to tap into with your friends and family, and all the activities, whether that's church related, school related, those activities that we're the go-to kind of real estate person, where we know all the ins and outs of a transaction and what it looks like and timing, so that we can give the education to a potential person who may want to refer us business. So utilizing that sphere of influence and your friends and family is huge.
Yeah, your dentist, your doctor, anybody and anywhere. And I found that it's interesting. I found this more this year than I've ever seen before. If you go into your local grocery store, your dentist, your doctor, it's amazing how many of them will have like a board, and they'll actually put different people's business cards up. They will actually do a lot to help you. And I think it's become more of a community, and people are more aware. At least that's what I've seen. Even in the big city of Washington, D.C., it feels like we're becoming more and more small, neighborhoody.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and that's what we want to kind of create, this boutique type of experience, so that everyone feels touched, comfortable, and so that they're able to refer us.
Yeah, and they make them feel comfortable. I think it's really important to feel comfortable. And like you tapped on one other thing. I think that one of the biggest ways also to get in front of our prospects is education, is really just finding ways, because we're constantly, as licensed real estate agents, we are constantly learning, and everything from our continuing education, but also, like, for me, I'm licensed in Virginia, DC, and Maryland, 3 different states, and boy, are they different. The contracts are different, the addendums are different, the disclosures are different, everything is different. And so it's really important to me, at least, to always make sure we're doing everything we can to educate the consumer, so that they know what their choices are, or what the disclosures are, or even what are the changes in the laws. And I assume you do the same kind of stuff as well, right?
Yes, 100%. And we kind of go over that in some of our home buying and home selling seminars, which is the next way for us to get in front of our potential clients as well, right? We're becoming a we're filling our database so that our pipeline gets filled as well. But hosting seminars would be the next way for me to kind of get in front of those prospects.
Yeah, I think it's really, really important to be able to have that education, but also now with the Zoom, it makes, and meetups, all the digital, it's so easy to get that information and to constantly do seminars to help people just get better educated. I've met people who are like, I only bought one time in my life. I've never sold. Now I need some help selling. Like, this is the new thing. And what do I do? And yet you're like, no. A lot of the stuff, but here, let's just go through. And I'm sure that also you're big on checklists. I think one of the best things you can do is give someone a checklist, so they're kind of following along with you on the process, and they feel empowered and educated during the process.
Yeah, I like for my homeowners and clients to make their own decisions as well. I'm more of the educator and the project manager here, where they are really the CEO of this business relationship that we have, so that they are making all the decisions.
Absolutely. I agree. It's like being a trusted advisor. You should
Yes.
have your real estate agent as well as your real estate attorney. All of them should be an advisor.
Mhm.
Shouldn't I've met the ones, even attorneys and such, or tax accountants who are more of a bully. And I say, no, they should be an advisor giving you choices. And then you decide what's the best one for you. Okay, so
Right,
let's
right.
go on. I don't know what number we're on now anymore, but other tips for realtors who are looking to get in front of their prospects.
I want to say, you really have to know who you are first. So what I would suggest is that you analyze yourself and a personality profile and find out who you are. Now, I utilize the DISC personality profile to find out who people are and who I was. And I realized based upon my assessment that I tend to attract people who obviously are more like me. And those people in real estate are builders, investors, and landlords, people who are decision makers as well. So what I would say is the way to get in front of your prospect is to know your niche kind of market and utilize 20% to really target those people.
Well, and one thing that I think is really important, and you talked about this before, but when you just mentioned about people who are like you, I remember when I was in my 20s, I got a lot of first-time home buyers. I found a lot of people who were similar to me. They were just starting out. And I think it's really important to create a relationship with your clients and not just a transaction. And so often, again, as you mentioned earlier, we say as real estate agents, we get portrayed as if we are not very, like we're just into it for the transaction. And unfortunately, there wouldn't be that reputation if there weren't real estate agents that are like that. But for the most part, I know that I have so many of my friends who are really interested in the relationship and developing a relationship so that they can be there to help advise them, not just when there's a transaction, but be that support and that educator when they need it. And you develop that as well, right?
Oh, yes, 100%. I mean, it's all about the relationship, and that's what we're here for. We definitely are in a people business, even though it's become kind of virtual in many ways. But yes, we're still helping people 100%, Jen.
And the real estate is such I think a personal thing that we're doing because we're in people's homes, that it is really important to make sure, again, you always want to make sure boundaries are observed, your boundaries as well as your clients.
Yes. Oh, yes, definitely. Don't want to step over that line ever.
I bet you have. I love stories. I think we learn so much from stories. I was wondering if you might have a story you could share about that.
A story about the boundaries?
Yeah.
Yes, I could definitely say that as I was getting interviewed as a potential listing agent, I may have said something that was not kosher or in line and made the homeowner feel comfortable. And I knew at that point that I had blew it based upon their facial expression. But it happens, right? I'm trying to bond, and I think we've got this groove, and things are rolling smoothly, and I feel comfortable, and I just totally let my guard down that things just kind of I spilled all my candy in the lobby.
That's a great way to say it. I spilled all my candy in the lobby. Yeah, I think it's really important. And the same thing, even as a real estate agent, I would say, I found that sometimes clients, they push your boundaries because they're so used to you being accessible, all the time for them. And then you realize, no, guess what? There are certain timelines when it's not appropriate to be having a business call at this time of night, or there are certain things that also those boundaries definitely need to be in place. And especially as a new agent, it's really important to understand those boundaries and then just make them clear, so that
Yeah, I mean, I typically do it at the end of an interview when we're all set, ready to go and list the property. I just let them know, by the way, I don't work on Sundays. It's really devoted to my family. I will answer your call, but it will be after 2 p.m. But I may not get to it until about 7 p.m. Oh, by the way, I also don't answer your calls between the hours of 3 to 7 p.m. during the week because I'm cooking dinner and doing homework. But I will definitely get to you after 7:30.
There you go. And that's exactly, I think one of the best things also I learned really early on, especially because everything keeps changing with technology, is also just asking, so I prefer to communicate and then explain, this is what I do. However, I'd really appreciate knowing how you prefer to be communicated with, because I have more than once just assumed, oh, everybody loves a text message because it's fast and it's quick and, it's non-intrusive, and then found out, depending. And I used to say it was different. It was by different demographics or different age groups, but no,
right?
No, some people just really want you to pick up the phone and give them a call. Even if it's a 30-second call, they would prefer that than a text message. And they think you're brushing them off if it's text message. Whereas some other very busy people are like, do not call me. I do not answer. And I don't even listen to voicemails. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then others I've had say, just email me, unless it's urgent. Email me. I don't want to hear from you unless it's an email. I handle all my emails at the same time. And I'm like, okay. So everybody's a little bit different on how they like to be communicated with. But if you don't know, I love that phrase, I could spill all your candy in the lobby. And then, or actually the other image that comes to mind is an ice cream cone. If you all of a sudden got 2 scoops and 1 scoop falls off.
Yeah, definitely. Not good.
Not good. You just need to ask. So ask about that. So, okay, so we're almost out of time. I wanted to make sure. So do we have, do you want to share one more way to get in front of your prospects as a real estate agent?
I would really say community events and client appreciation are really best ways to go. I mean, we host a ice cream social every summer. And invite our clients to it as well, and invite the neighborhood, let the schools and camps in the surrounding areas know as well.
I think it's great. So thank you so much. I want to make sure that people know how to get a hold of you. And I know you have all sorts of stuff that you love to help with, including, so just, would you tell them your website, your social media, anything you want to share?
Yeah, 100%. Well, I'd love to give your audience, first of all, a free download of my book, Become a Rockstar Real Estate Agent. They can get it at rockstaragenttraining.com. You can download the book for free there. Connect with me on social media at Facebook specifically. And those other social media things just don't work for me. But Facebook, jcinotucker.com. Yeah, I'm a little bit too old for some of those other platforms going on, but Facebook is where my audience is. So that's where anyone can connect with me as well.
Beautiful. And as you know, I'm known for yay. So I'm going to ask you to lift your voice and say yay with me. Okay?
Okay, Jen, I'm ready for this.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Yay! Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Jack Canfield. You may know me as the co-author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. And if you want more help in getting from where you are to where you want to be, I want to encourage you to listen to the Jennifer Hammond Show